Hello and welcome to our tutorial for Google Classroom for Teachers. This is a basic tutorial to help teachers get started with navigating Google Classroom. My name is Heidi and I'm the teacher author from the blog createdreamexplore.com. In this tutorial, we will cover how to create a classroom, how to add students, and how to add assignments and other materials. We will also cover the various features within Google Classroom. Google Classroom is a great way for you to share assignments, digital materials, and announcements with your students. It keeps everything organized all in one place and allows you to see your students working in real time. To get started, you will need to create your own Google account if you don't already have one. Your students will also need to have a Google account. The first thing you need to do to get started is to navigate to Google Classroom. You can get there on any device and browser by going to classroom.google.com. Or if you're signed into Chrome on a Chrome browser, you can go over to the waffle menu, click on it, scroll down to find Google Classroom, and you can click on that. Alternatively, if you are on a tablet or a smartphone, you can download the app and log in from there. Once you're on this page, you can find your classes by going up here to the plus button, click plus, and you'll see Join Class or Create Class. So you will click Create Class. If you are not a member of G Suite for Education, you will see this message pop up. You need to read the terms of use, accept them, and hit continue. Here is where you will create your class. So you can give it a name. And then you can give it a section if you want. You can put subjects. I might put all subjects. And a room number if you're a classroom teacher. Or you can also leave those things blank if you want. So once you hit create, your classroom will show up. And there it is. Okay. The first thing to take note of once your class is created is the class code here. This is what your students will need in order to join. Not this little symbol here, but just the letters and numbers. So you can take those numbers here by clicking on it, copy it, and then I'll show you what it will look like for students to log in. So students would follow the same process. They can go to classroom.google.com, or they can go up to the waffle here or log in on their app. When you hit Classroom, it will pop up just like it did the first time. They'll hit the plus sign, and instead of Create Class, they will hit Join Class, and then they can enter that class code and then hit Join. So now I'm a member of this classroom. I'm going to go back to the original class. When you're in the classroom, you can see four main sections: Stream, Classwork, People, and Grades. We will go through each of these sections and look at the features for each one. The first section is the Stream. And if you think of social media, it's just like that. It's a place where everything that happens is shared chronologically. So in this stream, you could post announcements for your classroom, and the assignments would show up there as well. To the left where it says upcoming, if you assign a due date to any work, that due date would show up here and it connects to a Google Classroom calendar. So just to show you a sample of how it works, if you click on here, you can make your announcement. So you can add it to, if you have more than one class created, you could add the same announcement to more than one class. You can have the announcement show up for all students or just some students. And then you click post, or you can schedule it to post at a later date or save the draft if you're not ready to. You can also add materials to your announcements as well. You can add a file from your Google Drive, a link, a file from your computer, or a link to a YouTube video. So I'm just going to hit post on my assignment so you'll see how that looks. So they can see it here. The settings are automatically set so that students can comment on things. You may or may not want to change that. The next section, and the most important one, is the Classwork section. In here is where you create any assignments. You can see your class Google Calendar that's auto-created when you create the classroom. And it's where you will do most of the work. So the Create button is how you'll add any assignments or materials. So if you click on create, you'll see assignment, quiz assignment. This automatically creates a Google form quiz for you. You can add just a question where students can respond to it. You can add materials like links. You can reuse a former post, or you can add a topic. You can also add a topic directly from the creation of the assignment pages. So I'm just going to go ahead and create an assignment here. So every time you create an assignment, this is what pops up. So you can give it a title. I'll call it assignment 1. You could add instructions here. I'll just put some sample text there. These are your settings. So you, again, can click for all students, or maybe you only want it for some of your students. If you have more than one Google Classroom set up, again, you can click on this drop-down arrow, and if you have more than one class, they'll all show up there, and you can post an announcement or an assignment to more than one class at one time. The points is where you can assign a grading system, which we'll talk a bit about later. Here's where you add a due date if you wanted. It'll pull up the calendar here. And then you can add a topic. So as a classroom teacher, I would add the subject that it would be, but you could also add this as reading materials or tests or any topic that you want, really. So I would go ahead and add a topic of writing. You can also add a rubric if there's one created for it as well. Over here is the add button, and that is where you will add your materials from, or you can create a blank document. So we'll start with the add here. When you go to add an assignment, just like in the stream when you make an announcement, you can add assignments through Google Drive, through a link, a file, or a YouTube video. So I'm going to go ahead and add an assignment from my Google Drive. I've got various files in here. I'm going to add this one that is first assignment. It's done in a Google Doc, and I'll click add. So right now, when I add it, it shows up as students can view the file. This is a great setting if you only want students to read the materials that you're adding. If you want them to interact with the materials at all, you will need to change that to either students can edit the file or make a copy for each student. If you select students can edit the file, that means that all students in your classroom have access to the same document. That means that they can all be editing the same document at the same time. If you don't want that to happen and you want each student to have their own file, then you would do make a copy for each student. So let's go ahead and do that. And you can also add more than one item to an assignment at one time. So I could do add YouTube, and if I know the URL for the video, I'm just going to grab one of these URLs here. I can paste the URL, and the video comes up, and then you click add. So now there's a video embedded into that assignment as well, and you can add as many things as you want, links, files, as many things as you want for your assignment. You can add all in one place. Over here where it's assign, when you're ready to assign it, again, you can schedule it, save the draft, or discard your draft. The only thing that is important to note here is that if you have made a copy for each student, you can't come back and edit this assignment and have it edit the assignment for all students. Once it makes the copy for them, that's it. So if you did need to edit this assignment at all, you would need to delete the post and then start over with the create assignment button. So I'm going to click assign so you can see what that looks like. It's going to take me back to the Google Classroom page. Okay, here we are. So now because I added a topic, it's got the topic right here and it's got the first assignment under it. If I want to add more assignments under that same topic, they will all show up here. And along the left-hand side here is where all your topics will show up so that students can have quick access to the topics that they need. So when you click on an assignment, this is what it looks like from the teacher view. Let's go look at it from the student view. So I just need to refresh the screen here. Now, as a student, I can see the welcome message. I can see these 3 headings, but it's missing the grades heading. So students don't have access to the grades heading. It does say the due date for my assignment here, assignment number 1 is due Monday. And if I go over to Classwork, I can see the assignment there. So as a student, if I click on the assignment, I see the materials and I can go to view assignment. From the student's perspective, they can see the video, and when they want to edit the work that they're doing, they would click here. If they need to add more materials, they can click add or create, and it pulls up their Google Drive. They can add a link or a file to support their assignment. They can add a blank Google Doc that they want to work on, or slides. They can add as much as they want. So when the student then clicks on the work, it will open up that assignment for them. And then once they work on it, it auto saves all of their edits to the file, and you have access to it as well. When they're done, they can hit turn in. And it's important to note that once they hit turn in, they can no longer edit their assignment. But if they need to edit it again, they can just hit unsubmit. It'll show you that in a second here, unsubmit. So if they need to edit it again, they hit unsubmit. And then it's back to the way it was where they can edit it. From the teacher perspective here, you can click on View Assignment, and it will open up this page. When you have more than one student in your class, all of their assignments will show up here like thumbnails, and you can see how many people you assigned it to, how many people have turned in, and you can view their individual work. So if I click on this assignment, it will open up all of the assignments that people have worked on. If more than one student had been assigned this assignment, you could click here and all of their names would be found here, and you can work on anyone's assignment. So clicking on this one, I can review it and see the work that the student has done. From here, I can leave comments for the student. I can grade it right in here. And you can also work right on the assignment with the students. From here, you can also see the students working on their assignments in real time. So I'll just slide this across and I'll open up my student one. So from the student assignment, if I start typing, you can see it on the teacher account here as well. So you can keep track of what your students are doing while they're doing it, even if they weren't in the same room as you at the same time. I'll just slide this back across so we can look at the other features of Google Classroom. In this box over here, you can add a private comment for your student and hit post. If I want to add a comment that's directly tied to student text, I can highlight it and then go over here to the plus button and add a comment there. And then on the student's assignment, they will see my comment to them, and if I left them feedback, they can go ahead and edit it, and then they can resolve the comment once they've completed the feedback. The next tab we can look at is the People tab. So I'm just going to go back to the main page here and click on People. On the People page, it shows you who is in the classroom. It shows you the teachers that are in the classroom, and you can add other teachers as well. And it also shows you the students. So if there was more than one, they would all be listed here. You can add students from this section by typing in their email address. For younger kids, I would suggest just going with the class code route. It's often harder for them to navigate to a Gmail account and is quicker for them to just add in the class code. From here, you can also directly email the student by clicking the menu and email student. By clicking email student, it automatically opens up a Gmail tab with the student's email address auto-populated in the email address section right there. And then you can add the subject and add a brief email to your student. The final section is the grades section. Each assignment that you post ends up here in the grade book, and if you mark it, it will show the grade for each student's assignment. If you want to change the grading system, you will need to go over to the cog here and open up the settings. it will show you your class details. And then down here is the general section where you can also see your class code, and you can regenerate a new code as well by hitting reset. If you scroll down to the grading section here, you can have the assignments to show no overall grade. You can have it set for total points or weighted by category. So this is something you would use if you wanted a section to say exams and have it weighted 50%, assignments weighted 20%, and so forth. You can add your grade categories here. When you create your classroom, you should always visit the settings section to make sure that they all meet your needs. So for example, in the stream, it's auto set to students can post and comment. As a classroom teacher, I prefer to have only teachers can post or comment. So you may or may not want your students to be able to comment. In the classwork on the stream, you can have it to show a condensed notifications, you can have it hide all notifications, or show all of the attachments and details. You may or may not want the items to show once you've deleted them. You can also have the deleted items show up or not show up by toggling this to on or off. I leave it off because I don't think that the students need to see the deleted items. In Google Classroom settings, you do need to click Save to have the changes applied. And then a final thing that you can change is on the main page here. If you don't like the picture that was auto-generated for you, you can select a theme or upload your own photo. So if you click Select a Theme, Google has some great ones already there for you. You might like this one, so you click Select Class Theme, and then it will change to the theme that you picked. This brings us to the end of our tutorial. If you have further questions, you can find me at createdreamexplore.com.